Welcome everyone. It's too quiet. I can't keep quiet for this.
Welcome everyone indeed. Lovely to have you with us here today. We just wait a few more seconds, but thank you for being on time. And then we're going to make a start. Fantastic. We can see people logging on as we speak. We have a large cohort of participants for today's webinar, which is fantastic. So a warm welcome again to our first webinar for the Interpreter Employment Success Program, the introduction to the actual program. Before we begin though, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we work and live. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. As a language professional, I recognize that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are the original communicators and storytellers of this land. I honor the enduring strength and diversity of First Nations languages, the first languages of this continent, and their role in maintaining cultural identity and connection across generations. So thank you again for starting with us on this exciting new program, the Interpreter Employment Success. My name is Despina Manatidu, for those of you that you don't know me, and I am a language professional. I'm a NATI certified interpreter and translator, a tutor and a trainer for interpreting. I am also the head of interpreting of 2M Language Services, and I'm privileged to be co-leading the Interpreter Employment Success Program alongside 2M's CEO, Thea Dieterich. But more of that in just a little while. So I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our session's facilitators for today. We have with us Anna Rolandsen from the Ethnic Communities Council of Queensland, or ECCQ for short. Hi, Anna. She is the Manager, Community Development and Engagement. We also have with us today Rianne Ferguson, 2M's Communication Manager, and thank you both for helping us out with the chat and the QA functions of the Zoom session. I'd like to ask all of our participants to make sure to put any questions, comments, and or feedback on the chat, which I can see that you're already doing, or use the Q&A function. Also, the session, as you might have seen, is being recorded, and we will make this recording available to all registrants. We also have some time at the end of the session to answer any questions and address any comments that you may have. And now, last but not least, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. John Bosco, ECCQ's General Manager, who will take us briefly through ECCQ's work around research, policy, and advocacy, and of course, the ISP and how the program came to be. Thank you, John. It is over to you now.
Thank you, Despina, for the warm introductions. I'm very pleased to be a part of the webinar, the discussions today. And I think the partnership between ECCQ and 2M is self-explanatory because we do have the same interest, which is really making sure multicultural communities are empowered and that their interests are safeguarded at all the time. So ECCQ, for those who don't know, stands for Ethnic Communities Council of Queensland. We are under the umbrella of Federation of Ethnic Community Council of Australia, FECA, because FECA really does cover the entire country, and we are doing the work representing and promoting, and of course advocating for the needs of culturally and linguistically diverse Australians in Queensland. So still under FECA as the umbrella organizations nationally. So we do safeguard, as I said before, the interests and needs of multicultural communities here in the state. We have been representing the Mapkaja communities since 1976. And of course, the CCQ is a member-based organization. So we do have 500 plus people, individuals and associations across Queensland. So if you're not a member, you're welcome to join. Anna is going to be putting some links in the chat sections as I go, talking about ECCQ and the Interpreter Employment Success Program, just to give you, the links and platforms for you to be able to join or engage in discussions. So we do engage in members, we engage members on membership on priority topics through forums like today, and meetings and emails. And of course, our topics are chosen based on the needs and what we hear through consultations with members of the multicultural communities, such as. So we are really guided by multicultural communities, especially leaders and individual members as well, not just leaders, on what topics to cover to ensure everything we do is based on the needs and reality on the ground. We do have online learning hub as well available to members and non-members, and all these online learning hubs are really designed to boost your capacity as communities and to make sure we understand a range of topics most of the time, really, Australian systems and what's expected of you as a resident of Australia. So capacity building, community empowerment topic in general. So members have the right to vote and to become members, not just to vote, but to be elected in turn as well. So you have the opportunity to become a part of the board as director, which means that you can inform the direction of ECCQ and have a voice there. We keep the community members and non-members, but priority to members, of course, up to date in terms of all things more cultural, what's happening in the state, with communication from government to you, and that includes grants and job opportunities. And we do that through our regular contacts, but most importantly, through our monthly newsletter. So we do have a great network of people. So joining CCQ means you get to connect with people of the same mind, people the same interest of making sure that we continue to be socially cohesive and stronger cultural Queensland, and you get to enjoy that network as well, and you can promote your work and what you're doing in the communities, whether it's events or other activities through this network as well. And you get the opportunity to use our newsletter to promote and social media channels to promote your work and whatever you're doing in your community as well. So very diverse, as you can see on the right-hand side there. We have North Americans, big 3%, Middle East, South America, Africa, 90%, Europe, Australia, Oceania, otherwise 37% of the community. The members being from Asia as well. So it's very diverse group of people, and it's an ECCQ family, as we usually call it. So you're welcome to join the family whenever you can. Next. So as I said before, so capacity building is at the core of our mandate, and that's why we are collaborating with 2M, for instance, to make sure we continue to boost the capacity of multicultural communities, because we believe it's very important, particularly to continue to learn not only about the ways and systems of Australia, but a range of topics, including the topics today, how we can improve this the interpreter translation sector. So the online hub is really designed to allow people to access training and support at any time, because it's online, available at any given time, and you can access it whether you're in Queensland or outside. So it's really flexible arrangements, which has been really the strategy to make sure that the training is accessible for those who are unable to attend sessions like today. And some of the key training include governance, that's governing your own community-based organizations, grant writing to ensure you have the substance and the skills to write grants, good grants, revenue generation, workshops, training, and roles and responsibility as you run community-based organizations and many other topics, including sensitive topics such as mental health as well. So this is just an example of the topics covered, but we do cover a range of topics online and of course face to face as well occasionally. So again, we are guided by the communities. If you have any topics in mind and you would like your communities to be trained, we're happy to do face-to-face training and face-to-face training with your targeted communities as well, on top of the online resources that are fully available for members and non-members. Next. Yeah, so we also provide land codes for community groups and community organizations. Whenever you feel like you want to, when you're ready, make contact with myself and Anna. And Anna, if you don't mind, if you could put ECCQ website for people to navigate, including contact us, so that we can actually connect the communities. So in case you need any training in any of those areas, happy to connect and happy to deliver those trainings for you at a time and venue of your preference. Next. Now, the reason why is, the interpreter employment success program is very important to ECCQ, of course, is because we do believe that that's why there is a need for qualified interpreters in the country, not just in Queensland, but overall in the country. And I think a program like this is really designed for you to be able to enhance your skills, but to provide some opportunities as well. So we've learned a lot by talking to current and former interpreters in terms of key barriers they have faced, but we have also done a research to try to understand the key barriers faced by interpreters in Queensland, otherwise in Australia, and what can be done to mitigate some of the strategies. So our research paper on interpreters highlighted very, very many challenges, and we, 2M and ourselves believe that a course like this, a project like this, can help you as a cohort, as multicultural communities, to navigate some of the challenges, or at least to make another great step towards a position of strength if you compare with what's happening in the sector. So the key issues highlighted as a part of our research was the issue of overseas qualifications. We know the initiative or the Interpreter Employment Success Program probably is not going to solve that issue entirely, but at least it's another qualification, good qualification, which can potentially put you in a better position or in a position of strength to mitigate the issue of being accused of just having overseas qualification. This is a local qualification which potentially not just gives you the knowledge, but puts you in a better position, a better competitive position than not having any qualification at all. And we do believe this project will be a tool to use as well to achieve professional development. Another way to highlight that you have achieved something professionally, especially in the language sector. We do also know that the poor pay rates is an issue in our sector, but I think being qualified interpreter and having then trainings of this nature can put you in a better position as well in terms of both pay rates and career progression. So without taking too much time, really, I wish you all the best in the programs, and I hope you will learn something which will again improve your qualifications and your professions for better going forward. Thank you.
John, amazing. I think both the audience and myself actually learn a lot about the work that ECCQ does around advocacy, training, and research, which is very much related to this program, to the ISP research, as you just explained, the issues with the lack of qualified interpreters in the state that led to the Interpreter Employment Success Program. So yeah, please go to the ECCQ's website to find more about all the work they do and also about the training. When it comes to the ISP, this is the part where 2M Language Services comes in. So just by way of introduction, what do we do at 2M? We offer the whole range of language services, that is interpreting, translation, localization, and of course, language technologies through our dedicated research and development division. So we are headquartered, of course, in Brisbane. Our offices are in Paddington, as you may know, but we have offices around Australia, as well as New Zealand, Asia, Europe, and Latin America. So this is just a slide with our footprint in the multicultural sector. I think a lot of you recognize a lot of names here that we provide interpreting services for and language services in general. And you probably are very familiar. ECCQ is there as well. So through our interpreting workforce, we count over 3,000 NATI credentialed practitioners. We are collectively fluent in more than 250 languages. Now, these are a lot of languages. So they include, of course, established community languages, but also rare and emerging, Pacific Island languages, First Nations languages, as well as Australian Sign Language and other sign languages from other countries. And this is us in numbers. Our people, our languages, our telephone interpreting minutes for 2024, and our real-time video on-demand interpreting calls, as well as our fast response time. I have this slide there because some of us just like seeing numbers. We understand them better, perhaps. So just as important is our training. So our training is delivered through our training arm, the 2M Academy. There we hold professional development webinars, which are open to all, interpreters, translators, and everyone else that has a keen interest, and they're available free of charge. You also need to create login credentials for the 2M Academy, and you can view the array of professional development that we have made available there. But we also hold, other than webinars and tutorials, longer training, such as the one we see on the photo here. This was for the Interpreter Training Boost program, which was funded by the Queensland government and ran from 2021 to 2024. So we were selected along TAFE South Australia to deliver the industry induction and orientation component of the Interpreter Training Boost program. Another year-long training that we delivered in 2024 was the Upskilling Interpreters in Palliative Care Settings, this time funded by the Brisbane South Primary Health Network. So because also research had identified that interpreters, my colleagues, we lacked the necessary skills and confidence to perform effectively in such a high stakes emotive domain such as palliative care. So now, coming to the reason for the session, the ISP, the Interpreter Employment Success Program, for which we're here today, seems to only be the natural progression and expansion of our training capabilities, really. But what exactly is the ISP? So the ISP is an Ethnic Communities Council of Queensland initiative delivered in partnership with 2M Language Services and Settlement Services International. The program is funded through the Workforce Connect Fund, powered by the Queensland Government's Good People, Good Jobs, Queensland Workforce Strategy 2022 to 2032. So the ISP is a professional development program catering to bilingual speakers or aspiring interpreters, and also client-facing workers. The purpose of the ISP is to attract people, to attract language talent in the States to the interpreting profession, and also retain and upskill the interpreters that are currently practicing. So very important reasons for the ISP there. The work we do is supported directly by many organizations. Of course, the Queensland government, as well as a number of industry stakeholders and other organizations, such as the National Accreditation Authority for Translators and Interpreters, or NATI for short, the Australian Institute of Interpreters and Translators, or AUSIT, which is the professional association for linguists in the country, and ASLITA, who is the Association of Sign Language Interpreters and Translators Association. So a number of stakeholders really to pull together this big program, 2-year program, which is the ISP. I have to say that we have been very privileged to be guided in the creation of the program and the course content by the Technical Reference Council and the Advisory Board, which, as you can see from the slide, includes top-tier talent. I mean, a lot of the individuals here need no introduction. They're experienced practitioners, they're trainers, they're academics, certification body representatives, Queensland Health staff, consumers, and commissioners of interpreting services, a good balanced mixture of all that have a vested interest in the industry and the profession in the state. So some of the talent is actually part of the audience tonight, so a shout out to you and thank you very much. Please accept again our gratitude for the work that either you have done or continue to be doing for this program. Very, very important. We couldn't have done it without you. So now, delving into the details of the program, what is it? It is a self-paced hybrid learning model. So it consists of self-paced modules, and participants will complete them online, as well as supporting tutorials for each of the modules. There is also more to it. There is information sessions held on site, networking events, workplace simulations, on-site workshops, industry induction webinars. We have prepared a lot. It is a very comprehensive program, and it is an exciting time to be an aspiring interpreter or practicing interpreter in the state. It really is. Also because of the ISP and everything that it has installed for aspiring and practicing interpreters. So participants will be exposed to exclusive opportunities to connect with key organizations and stakeholders of the industry within the state, discover employment opportunities, work with cutting-edge language technology and AI, and develop personal and professional self-care and well-being strategies, just as important. So if we go further into detail, here we have the 10 self-paced modules that I mentioned earlier. So there are different maturity levels to the modules, but as you can see, we have from the titles already, without going into further detail, there is Introduction to Interpreting, there is Language Proficiency and Terminology, Community Interpreting Health, Community Interpreting Legal, Technology, AI tools, and online safety in interpreting, the essentials, managing stress and self-care, and business skills for freelance interpreters. You probably have noticed that I have left out 3 of the modules. And why is that? Because they are advanced. So we have advanced ethical and professional standards for interpreters, advanced cultural competence, and also advanced applications for technology and AI tools in interpreting. So having different maturity levels ascribed to each of the module makes it easier for participants to identify the modules that are more relevant at the professional stage of their lives that they are in, if that makes sense. So this is what we're going to be doing on an online learning management system. We're going to be completing these modules with their associated quizzes. So the advanced modules that we have prepared here are meant to be for very experienced interpreters that have been wanting for a long time. We know that advanced professional development opportunities. So this is the chance to complete some advanced development, professional development modules. So you don't have to remember all that. All that is readily available on the ISP website, interpretersuccess.com.au, which already should be in the comments. So please visit the interpretersuccess.com.au. And if you haven't registered yet, please do so. And if you have friends, family members, acquaintances with language talent, we want them to also have a look and potentially register. So furthermore, what is it in the ISP for each of the participating cohorts? So big overview, we have two big cohorts, aspiring interpreters and interpreters, meaning current interpreters that are practicing or not, but they hold interpreting certification. So these are, generally speaking, the two big cohorts, aspiring interpreters and interpreters or current interpreters. So what is in it for each of those cohorts? As an aspiring interpreter, this course will raise your awareness about interpreting as a profession and what skills and qualifications are required in order to perform this service effectively and to become a professional interpreter. It's a unique opportunity for an insight and overview of the industry, its stakeholders, and it could be very well be a pre-pathway to becoming a certified or recognized interpreter. I want to emphasize here that the ISP, this program, does not substitute formal interpreting training. Formal interpreting training is always required to be eligible to seek the NATI exam for certification, interpreting certification, or apply for NATI recognition. So I'd encourage you, those that you are interested in pursuing a career in interpreting, to check the NATI website, nati.com.au, for further details and also for details of the NATI endorsed training institutions that offer training for interpreters and translators for linguists. This is very important. On the other hand, if you are a current and or practicing interpreter, hello, dear colleague, and what is going to be in this course for you? So you will develop and enhance your interpreting skills through meaningful learning content, and I emphasize meaningful. It is written by experienced trainers and subject matter experts who are senior interpreters and trainers in the industry in their own right. Also, and as a current and or practicing interpreter, you will be able to claim all your NATI recertification points by successfully completing this course. I will repeat that because it is important for us interpreters that recertify our credentials every 3 years. So as a current and or practicing interpreter, by completing the ISP modules, you will be eligible to claim all your NATI recertification points, or 120 recertification points. So that's amazing, whilst at the same time participating in meaningful professional development and upskilling, and also taking advantage of all the other opportunities that were mentioned earlier. So now, to complete the course, participants must successfully complete 7 modules with their associated quiz. Remember, 10 self-paced modules, 7 of them are mandatory for the completion of the course. Each of the modules has an associated quiz at the end, which we have to successfully complete. If we answer wrongly one of the quiz questions, we will be given the opportunity to repeat the questions. It's about engaging really with the content and understanding, what the trainer is trying to make known or to make explicit. So it is not an exercise in numbers, obviously. You have to complete 7. The minute you complete 7, this is it, ISP, see you later. You can complete all of the self-paced modules, and you can complete all the other activities and sessions that we have prepared for you. Just to give you an example, all of 2M's in-house interpreters and trainers, as well as some of the trainers that provided content for the modules, have enrolled in the course as participants. Why that? Why did they do that? Because we want to partake also in meaningful and high-level professional development. We recertify as well. We crave advanced professional development. We are, waiting for the opportunity to be able to complete every activity that the ISP entails to, all modules and beyond. So you will find, again, a lot of information on the ISP website about the modules completion and any other requirements, and a lot of, questions might be answered by going to interpretersuccess.com.au. So how are you going to do the modules? Where are these modules? So now we're getting onto it. So you will be sent an email to create your login credentials for the platform. This email will be sent on the email address you used to register for the ISP. So at this same email address that you registered for the program, we will send you an email invite to create your login credentials. So your password for the platform, the learning management system, where the modules of the ISP are. So, and something very important, we're releasing the modules very soon. And as very soon, I mean as of the 1st of July. So please make sure to have ready your login credentials and get the word out to other colleagues or aspiring interpreters that haven't heard, or language talent in general that might not want to miss this opportunity. So, okay, now, for example, we have our credentials. We're able to log into the learning management system where the self-paced modules are. So how do we navigate this system? Let's watch this short video and see if we have any questions about how to complete the modules.
Despina, I have to jump in and let you know that we can't hear your audio
Oh,
from the video.
that is not. Oh, that is not very good. I am not sure why is that.
Despina, do you have
Let
your
me-
headphones in? Maybe take them
Yes.
out. Yes. Okay, let's try that.
Sorry, Despina, I think you are on mute. Maybe you might need to unmute yourself and put it through the speakers. And I think there might be a way you can select to share your sound in the audio settings. Unfortunately, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Okay. Thank you. So I hope everyone can hear me, but let us know if you don't. And let's try again from the beginning, since we weren't.
Content. However, you will be required to complete the course in its natural order.
That's good.
Click through the interactive elements of the screen to complete each section. You can toggle the course outline to go in full screen mode.
So because we had this little glitch with the sound, and it is a very short video, if it's okay, I'll play it again for the benefit of everyone. Thank you.
Log in the Learning Management System by visiting interpretersuccess.cosemble.com. Then enter your username and password. Once you are logged in, you will see the courses available to you in the dashboard. Select your assigned course and press Start. A course is broken down into modules. You can see the outline of the course on the left-hand side of your screen. You can navigate through the different modules and subsections to get a glance of the content. However, you will be required to complete the course in its natural order. Click through the interactive elements of the screen to complete each section. You can toggle the course outline to go in full screen mode.
So it is quite simple on how to navigate the course and its different modules. Here we had the example of one module, but it's going to be similar for all 10 modules. So it's a matter of us, again, logging onto the platform without password that we have created after receiving the invitation to do so, and completing all components of a module or interactive elements, videos, different tiles within a lesson. A module consists of different lessons. So we have to complete everything, and we have to take them in the order that they are in the learning management system. So if there are any videos, for example, we need to watch all videos fully to unlock the next step, and so on and so forth. If there are any interactive slides, we need to click and engage with all of them. We can't just scroll through. That is what that means. So at the end of each module, there is the quiz, which shouldn't take long, really. It shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes. And we need to answer all the questions in order for us to complete this module. And again, as I said, if we answer wrong, we will be given the opportunity to repeat the question so we can answer right. Once we have completed all the lessons of the module successfully with a quiz, we will see a module complete message, and there's going to be a certificate that can be viewed and downloaded. Also, this certificate is going to be emailed to us as a participant. So that's how we're going to be completing the 10 self-paced modules in the learning management system. And all of that is starting as of the 1st of July. Now, the tutorials of each module, they're going to be released live as we're having this webinar, close to the time that the corresponding module is released. So participants will have the opportunity to participate live and listen to the trainer bringing this content to life and also asking questions. But they're also going to be recorded and made available on the ISP website for those participants that weren't able to attend live. So again, here we have it in full slide, interpretersuccess.com.au. a website with which we should become familiar if we are to participate in this course and take full benefit. So this is it, and this is where we can email if we need, any clarification or have any questions. hello@interpretersuccess.com.au. So this is, in a nutshell, the ISP and everything that we have prepared for you. Remember, it's much more than the 10 self-paced modules, and I'm not going to repeat myself because we're really looking forward, I guess, to answer any questions that might have come up.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Despina, for that explanation about the content and everything that's available through the IESP program. There have been a number of questions, and I've been copying them from the chat and putting them together. There have been some answered in the chat, but I think it might be helpful for us to discuss those questions again. There's been a number of questions. There was a couple at the beginning about ECCQ membership, which I'm going to quickly jump in and answer. If you want to become a member of ECCQ, it is for organizations $25 per year, or for individuals $13 per year, and you can apply through our website. If you're an individual and you need to have somebody who's a current member who can nominate you, you can email me at annar@eccq.com.au. Training, this program, the IESP, and other training that ECCQ delivers is delivered at no cost to you, for free. So the IESP program will be available until October next year. So we're encouraging people to work through it all as much as possible, as quick as you can. There was a couple questions, quite a few questions regarding, is this program enough to prepare somebody who's an aspiring interpreter to sit the NAATI exam? Are you able to clarify a bit around that, Despina?
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you to anyone who asked it. So this is a pre-pathway, but it is not formal training. So someone completing the ISP cannot apply or sit the exam for NAATI certification or apply for recognition. That individual needs to undergo specific interpreting training, and that can be provided by a number of tertiary education providers within the state. So I'd encourage you to look at the NAATI website to see the requirements for NAATI certification and recognition, depending on the language that you have, the other language other than English.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. There were a few questions about the certificate. So can you just explain again how people will be able to access their certificate when they complete the course?
Of course. So once we get a certificate as we complete each of the modules. And this happens on the same learning management system where we access the modules and go through them. So I might just show you what it looks like if I can share my screen again, if that's okay, so you have an idea. So here it is. So here is what it looks like, the certificate. For example, I completed module 1 today, and I'm getting this message, great job, you passed the course, view certificate, here's my certificate with my name, and here are some detailed analytics. When did I commence the course? When did I complete the course? How long it took me? And the percentage of my progress. So this is a downloadable certificate, but you also get, by completing each module, a certificate via email from the learning management system. Does this answer the question?
Yes, I think that's a good answer. Thank you so much. Another question was around how many sessions do people need to attend, which I think you touched on, but if you could just repeat, how many sessions to attend online or face-to-face?
Well, if you really ask me, I'd say all, because that's the full benefit, right? This is what we are going to do, or some of us are going to do. However, when it comes to completion of the course, as in, the exact definition of completion will be successfully finishing 7 of the 10 modules. But that's the minimum requirement. As we explained earlier, there's so much more in terms, as you said, of on-site networking sessions, workshops, which provides also other opportunities and exposure to other key stakeholders. So me being a participant, I'm doing it all. And this is what I'm proposing and suggesting. These all have been created and will be made available for the full benefit of participants, of both aspiring interpreters, language talent, and current interpreters.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Another few questions did ask about whether this program will lead towards job opportunities or work. Could you talk about that?
Absolutely. This is the idea, right? It's about a fulfilling career in the industry, and a fulfilling career in the industry pertains to the appropriate job opportunities. How is this going to happen? Well, there isn't an exact roadmap of how these employment opportunities will be created, but in general, if we think, how do these opportunities create? By networking, by making sure that we are the best professional that we can ever be, with what this means, professional development, appropriate training, certification, anti-credentialing, networking, professional association, etc. By ticking all these necessary boxes, we open our professional selves to employment opportunities. Specifically within the ISP, you're going to be exposed to a variety of stakeholders, both government and private, from agencies, language service providers, to NATI representatives, to Queensland Health Government representatives. So there is ample opportunity in there, the way we see it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. There's been a couple questions regarding whether this program will be accessible for deaf interpreters or future deaf interpreters, or if there will be any Auslan translation.
That is a very good question. Something that we have considered, but it's not going to be for all the modules. So it is going to be made available as it is being requested, if that makes sense. So if we know that there will be, participation in that specific workshop, we'll make appropriate arrangements for access.
That's fantastic. Good to know. Thank you for that. There was a few questions around the time frame to complete all of the modules and the program. So you mentioned that it's about 1 hour to complete each module. Can you also talk about the access to tutorials and the other parts?
Yes, thank you for the question. Really good. So around 1 hour, more or less, depending on the speed that we go through the module, and depending on the reference and other resources that a module might have, because some For example, legal interpreting has a lot of reference and resources, and some other modules as well. We might want to go through all and each one of them. But we'd say on average an hour. Same for the tutorial. Now, overall, the time frame for completing the course, it will be around 5 months. And why is that? Because it's very sufficient time to complete the 10 modules, if we keep in mind 1 hour per module. And we don't want to lose the line within the training, as in completing some of the modules now and then coming back next year. So we're saying it's a recommendation to complete the modules within 5 months from starting the modules.
Wonderful. That's great. I'm just looking through some of the other questions. We've talked about certificates. We've talked about the connection and the other courses to complete to head towards NAATI. Are all the modules in English?
Yes, all the modules are in English.
Fantastic. What date will the email be sent to access the modules?
I am told that on the 1st of July, the email will be sent same day that the first module is going to be released. So 1st of July, start of the month, start of the financial year, formal start of the ISP.
Wonderful. So very soon, coming to you next week. Get ready. We've talked about connections for employment. Where will the on-site workshops be held?
So we're very privileged to have secure the BMAC, which is the Multicultural Hall, and most of the on-site workshops will be held there, will be catered as well. They're going to be, other than the learning and network, opportunity and connecting with peers, colleagues, and other in the industry. But also there's going to be a regional workshop in Cairns, for the benefit of regionally based language talent and or interpreters as well. So these are the workshops. Now, networking opportunities that might come up as a question, they will be a mixture of online and on-site regularly, for which you're going to be given information in advance.
Thank you. There's just been a comment asking for a little bit more information about the tutorial aspect. Will they be particular dates or times?
So yes, there will be particular dates. So pretty much each tutorial will be released close to the release of the corresponding module. And they usually, because we know we're interpreters ourselves, it will be, after hours like this webinar. So we have finished work and we can fully be present and participate. So from 5 to 6, unless if we have a trainer like our technology and AI interpreting tools trainer who resides in another time zone, in another continent. So inadvertently, her tutorials will be a bit earlier on the day. We might not all be able to participate, but again, remember, they're going to be recorded and made available to all participants.
Wonderful. There's also a question around, for people who have not yet become an accredited NAATI interpreter, will there also be job opportunities through this, or what do you suggest around that?
There is always job opportunities. It's a matter of discovering them, but also for the person that is interested becoming the appropriate candidate, the most qualified for this opportunity. So we can view the ISP also as an upskilling and a pre-pathway to becoming professional interpreter, and having the opportunity to be mentored and coached in specific interpreting matters, domains, and techniques by other trainers that are experienced interpreters themselves. So the answer is always yes. But we have to make the effort and we have to have the commitment to see ourselves in, a lifelong successful career in the industry.
Fantastic. That's a great way to see. Sorry, the questions are coming thick and fast now in the chat, and I'm trying to keep up. I think I've skipped some here.
Doing a great job. I can see there's a lot going on in the chat. You're doing a great job, Anna. Yes.
Okay. Can we choose either an aspiring interpreter or interpreter program? I think it's all one program.
Correct. It's all one program, but it's offered to both cohorts. So the program is available to both cohorts. And that's why there are different maturity levels as well. So you can be guided on what would be most beneficial to complete in terms of the modules. But as I said, the recommendation is truly to complete all of them because you are going to benefit.
Great. Another slightly different question. For the terminology, will the program provide interpretation in the LOT as well?
So the program itself, it is delivered in English, so it doesn't have a component of another language. However, NAATI exam simulation will be delivered in a few different languages. Unfortunately, we cannot cover all the languages that all participants speak, but we'll try our best with the simulated NAATI role plays that we're going to be delivering to cover some languages. However, it is important, even if your language is not part of these languages that are going to be covered during the role plays, to still participate because you can deduct a lot of interpreting wisdom or professional wisdom, but just looking at the interactions.
Wonderful. That's awesome. Who do we contact if we have a question related to the module question?
Absolutely. So the hello@interpretersuccess.com.au, which is the email address that we had previously on this slide. And I think if it's not in the chat, I'll put it there.
Yeah. Yes, it's just been put in. Thank you. Would the training be available to access after completion?
Yes, so participants can access the training up until, as you said, Anna, it's the end of 2026 almost. So it'll be available then, up until then to access it.
Wonderful. Regarding the face-to-face courses, the question is there face-to-face? Yes, there are a few face-to-face workshops. I think you're going to be releasing dates for those.
Correct. So we're starting in September with workshops, with the first workshop, and then periodically. I'm not going to give you all the days now because we're going to forget them. What's the benefit in that? But you're going to get advance notification.
And you mentioned that a number of those are going to be at BMAC, which is in South Brisbane, under the Story Bridge. It's where that is. Yes.
Very central. Yes.
Yes. Another one, are there practical opportunities as part of the program, for example, watching an interpreter working at a court?
Yes, so that will be covered in the induction webinars, remember? I know I've given you a lot of information, apologies for that, but it's great to have an overview. So we have the 10 self-paced modules, the on-site sessions, the workshops, but we have the 10 induction webinars, which will be hands-on and really practical in terms of interpreting skill. So yes, we have the opportunity to see and hear in action.
Wonderful. Somebody's mentioned that language service providers have online learning platforms. How is the IESP different to these other professional development opportunities?
The ISP is a very different endeavor. I'm not sure if it has come out until now from this presentation, but it entails to a lot more than just professional development webinars and sessions. It is a whole program, holistic program, meant to upskill current interpreters and give complete overview and awareness of the profession and the industry to those that have not had the opportunity yet. So it's not one single or a mini series of professional development. It's a free of charge 2-year program funded by the Queensland government to increase awareness and professional interpreters in the state.
Fantastic. Do all interpreters need to be NAATI certified in Australia?
Well, that's a great question. Not all interpreters can be NAATI certified in Australia because NAATI certification is not offered in all languages that we speak. It's offered in 67 or 69 languages. This number increases all the time. However, for the rest of the languages that we speak, there isn't certification, but there is something else which equals a credential, and it's called NAATI recognition. So, which is worthwhile having, obviously, because it proves that you are serious and committed and professional in what you do.
Absolutely. There's also just a comment for people who have put questions in the Q&A function. Someone has been typing answers to you there. So just please make sure you check that function for the answers and the questions in there. I haven't done any course regarding the interpreting. Once I complete the modules, am I able to apply as an interpreter? So I think that's related to the other courses. Can you just, I think someone else's question was saying, what do you recommend after the IESP? What would the next step that somebody who wants to work in the interpreting industry need to take?
Absolutely. Thank you. Fantastic questions. So directly after the ISP, I'd recommend studying. There's different lengths of courses and studies that you can undertake specifically for interpreting and gaining your certification or recognition. That is the complete and perfect pathway to entering the industry as a professional.
Fantastic. I realize that we've gone over time, and I think we're going to have to wrap up the conversation. And I think we have managed to cover most of the questions. Thank you, everybody who has joined this call, for sharing so many questions. It's been really helpful to have people ask specific questions related to the IESP, related to the profession, the pathways, what's happening from here. It's been great, and make sure to look out for that email coming at you on the 1st of July.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anna. Great work facilitating. Thank you, Rian. Thank you, John, as well. And of course, thank you to all of our participants. We wait to see you at the next opportunity, be it online or on site. And we need you all aboard the ISP. The state needs more professional interpreters. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Make sure you keep in touch with us. We'll be happy to answer any questions through email.
Thank you for now.